Hello everyone, Sapphire here with a small tutorial. Thanks to my why you should play Xenoblade Chronicles first impressions video, I've actually managed to draw a lot of people into playing this game, and you can check that video out right here. Click the annotation or see the description. Of course, the purpose of this video was also to show off the HD texture project, and I've had a few people ask me how to install the textures into their game. Now, there are actually two methods. One involves using a tool called TextMod. The other involves using the Dolphin emulator itself. The method that I use, and thus the one that I'll be covering, is using Dolphin. It works well with the DX11 plugin and has good performance overall, whereas TextMod requires you to use an old 32-bit build of Dolphin with an outdated graphics plugin. One general piece of advice I can give you is to use an SSD if you have one, to reduce loading times and stutter in game, but if you don't have one, don't be too worried, hard drives are fine. Next up, make sure you have a recent developed version of Dolphin. You can find it here, even if they're not necessarily touted as stable. I've never had any issues with them when running this game. So, before you do anything, you must discover what region version of the game you have. Now, I'm not going to give you an ISO, of course, but oh dear. Alrighty then, I don't know why that happened, but apparently Dolphin decided to reset my directories and my ISOs weren't there. But yeah, I'm not going to give you an ISO, but the first thing you need to do is to determine what region game you have. If you have an NTSC copy of the game, your code will be SX4E01. If it's PAL or European, your code will be SX4P01, as you can see mine is here. Of course, mine says Japanese here, but that's because of a 30 FPS patch that I'm using for the PAL version, so you don't need to worry about that. Just keep an eye on that code. That will be the version you will download, basically when you head over to the HD Texture Pack forum page. There is the USA pack here, and the Europe pack here, so that's the one you want to download, depending on which version you want, alright? You can also go ahead and download add-on packs such as this environment pack or the controller buttons. I really highly recommend getting Xbox 360 or PlayStation controller buttons if you use those kind of controllers. Most people tend to do that. Next, I'll go through the actual installation process. Now, as you can see here, I've gone and downloaded 3 packs. The main pack, the environment textures add-on pack, and the controller add-on pack. So I'm just going to open up those RAR files right now. And the screen is going to get spammed. The first thing you want to look at is the main texture pack, which is the Xenoblade Chronicles Retexture 5.6 here as the current version of the time making this video. What I recommend doing right away is going ahead and making a new folder somewhere. So I'm just going to put this on my desktop. I'm just going to call it new folder because I'm not going to have it very long. I'm going to open up this folder and I'm going to drop everything that's in here in that folder. And that's going to take a while, even though I'm on an SSD. There's a lot of files in there to decompress, so it'll take a little bit. Alright, so now that's done, and we've got a few folders to look at. So there's the obvious README, which will bring out basically the instructions, but since I have got some requests to do this videos, I am going to assume that a lot of you have found this a little bit difficult to follow. So, as you can see, there's this one folder that has the same code as the region. Now that's the most important folder. That contains pretty much all of the textures that you need. There are a few other folders though. The optional textures has a few little optional things. Now, basically, they're just little textures that you can put in your game if you want to. You know, like different weapon icons that have different sharpening effects or whatever, and different kinds of character modifications. If you want to know how to do optional textures, basically look at what's in front of the folder. So for example, with this thing here, you got affinity. These icons, you would drag them into this affinity folder, so it's pretty easy. Now here's basically where you start going and grabbing. For example, here's the environment texture. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take this folder and I'm going to pull it in here as a little temporary measure. And what I'm going to do is, because these textures are all encoded for the US version of the game, If you're using the US version of the game, you don't need to do anything, but if you're using the European version of the game like I am, all you have to do is open up this little icon here, and you follow the instructions here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to press E and press enter, and it's going to rename all the textures in here to European textures. So now you can see they have PO1 instead of EO1, or whatever the other code was. Now I'm going to grab both of these folders, cut them, and I'm going to pull them into this folder here. Okay? So now they're a part of the main pack. And then, okay, what I'm going to do, I can get rid of that, is I'm going to bring over the controller tutorials, and I'm going to do the exact same thing. So, bring the folder in here first, do the region conversion, Europe, it converts them, and then I'm going to cut it all out, and I'm going to bring it into the main pack. Alright, now, basically, that's it. So, the next step is to find where your textures actually go. Basically browse until you find your My Documents. You'll find a little folder called Dolphin Emulator. And then in there, go to Load and then Textures. Alright, now, you just gotta grab the coded folder here, and you gotta paste it in there. That's pretty much all you do. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna quickly check, okay? We're gonna check to see if it works. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is open up Dolphin now. See, I've got Xenoblade, and what I'm going to tell you is how to get this pack working in the game. The first, most important option is load custom textures here in the advanced tab of the graphics settings. So make sure that that's ticked. The other thing is to make sure texture cache is on fast. If it's on safe, you're not going to get anything working. But if it's on fast, you're good. As for performance issues, I've found that changing the graphics settings to EFB copy to RAM actually helps my performance issues, but some people have actually noted that changing it to texture gives them better frame rates. So make sure you experiment with that option if you're getting a lot of stuttering. If you're still getting a lot of stuttering even when you change the options as much as possible, your computer might not be good enough to handle the texture pack. So, now, go to DSP and make sure that you have DSP LLE enabled along with the X Audio 2 backend. This is the only way that I've found to get rid of all the audio crackling because of the way, the imperfect emulation. You can mess around with it if you do get problems still. Now, onto the game. So as a final little word, the best way to figure out to, confirm to see if the texture pack works is to load up the game, and if you get a black screen for, a minute or so, that means that Dolphin's loading the textures. It usually means that the texture pack's going to work just fine. Of course, you can go in and you can check the textures for yourself to see if they're clearer. The best way I've found is to look at the text to see if the text is nice and clear, or even just the title screen. Or you could try some of the optional textures which change the Wiimote icon when you start up the game to something else. And, there's a good way to figure it out. So that's about it. I really hope that you guys actually enjoyed, seeing a tutorial from me again, and, it was helpful. For those people who requested the tutorial, I hope that you don't have any trouble anymore, and I hope that you are able to get this texture pack running and you're able to get the game running smoothly. Because it does require quite a good PC, especially with the extra textures. So what can I say? This game is great, it looks even better with the textures, and I can't thank the guys over at the forum enough for actually creating it. Because no, I wasn't the one who created it, obviously, I'm just the one who loves the heck out of it and wants to make videos from it. Yeah, Xenoblade Chronicles is a great game. You should go check out my video about why you should play it. But of course, if you're watching this video, you're planning on playing it anyway, and I hope that you enjoy these textures and this game. If you want to see more videos from me, don't forget to click that subscribe button. Why don't you karate chop it? Make sure you like the video if you liked it, dislike it if you disliked it, tell me why you disliked it in the comments section. And
Did I already say subscribe? Because you should subscribe if you want to see more, and if you want to support my channel and help grow my channel, you should support me on Patreon. Basically, that helps me get all the stuff that I can use to make better videos, record better videos, and especially when I go ahead and start making more 60 FPS videos. This video isn't 60 FPS, but you should check out my Sonic Generations Let's Play because that is, and I'm really looking forward to continuing that. So yeah, I'll see you guys next time, and I hope you enjoyed this last few little bits of gameplay.